I'm not looking for a lot. Okay, so then we're going to create a histogram using a bin width of 5,000 for the median salary data. Right, and then we're going to describe what it actually looks like. So what I'm going to do for that one, StatCrunch. Let me come up here and write out what StatCrunch is. Okay, so once I click on the StatCrunch data set, this thing pops up, and I've got 1,000 of them, so again, don't try to put this in your calculator. And we're looking at the median salary, which is right here, so this one right here. Those are the numbers we're looking at, but again, don't put those in your calculator. So for StatCrunch, this isn't a good one, hold on, let me find a better one. Do a histogram. You're going to go up to graph and then click on histogram. Graph, histogram. And when you do that, this little window pops up. For your columns, you're going to select median salary. So here you'll just select median salary. And the rest of the stuff, it really doesn't matter what you put in. Your bins, the width, they actually told me what the width was. What was the width? 5,000. So under your width, I would type 5,000. And then down here, you can go ahead and compute. I'm not going to compute it because then I'll give away the answer to this one. But if we look at something like, if I do square feet instead, I can click these markers and it'll show me where my mean and my median are. I can tell where they are. That's not a big deal right now. We're going to use that later in chapter 3. So you can mark those just to see where the mean and the median are. So here, if I graph the square footage of the dealership, how big it is, you can see it's a nice little bell-shaped curve. I've got, it's unimodal, it's symmetric. Any of those numbers would, or any of those words would be great to use in your answer for number 2. But here you can tell your mean and your median are kind of right next to each other. So if I graph that out and I see what it looks like, I come back here to my, sorry, and then after this you can compute. I come back to my thing. Oh, wait, you do need to do it. So, okay. So the distribution is going to be, in this case, I'll say it's roughly symmetric, just because the one I decided to do was. And then it asks you what the typical salary is. So if you hover over these, so let me come back and do this one again, because I forget what my setup looked like. I did square footage, bin width. Okay, so I forgot. You also need to do markers, do your mean and your median. So both of them show up. And so when you do that, and you graph it out, sorry. If you hover over those, it'll tell you what the mean and the median are. So for me, I would say the middle is, let's see, it looks like about 15,000 for the median. The mean is about 15,051. So I could put in something like 15,000, and it should count it right. Not in this case, because it's not 15,000, because that's not, but for number 3, your typical salary will be your approximate mean and median. So just check what both of those are. Find a number that's close to both of them and put it in. When the computer goes through and checks if it's right or it's wrong. They have the middle, and then they have plus or minus a certain amount. So if you're close enough to it, it's fine. For this one, if I would have put in 15,000, they'd have counted it right. If I would have put in 15,050, which was what my mean was, they would have counted that right too. So you've got like an interval where it would be considered correct on those ones. So you don't have to get it exactly right, just kind of approximate what you think it's going to be. Okay, so now they want you to do a histogram with bin width of 5,000, and then they also want you to do a stem and leaf plot, a box plot, and a dot plot. We haven't talked about box plots, so don't worry about that. Box plot. We're going to do that in chapter 3, so don't worry about doing the box plot. Just do the stem and leaf plot, the histogram, and the dot plot. So if I come back up here to this one, here's my histogram. Kind of looks nice, but if I go to graph, I can click on, where's my stem and leaf? Two up? Stem and leaf, thank you. Yeah, that's it. And I'll click, and in this case, I'll just do square foot again. I don't have to click anything else, I just do compute, and there's my stem and leaf plot for my square footage. Again, it looks like, unimodal if I turn my head to the right. So that's kind of nice. They went ahead and did a split stem and leaf plot for this one, which makes sense because these are really, really long. So there's my stem and leaf plot. If I go to graph down here, my dot plot for my square footage, compute it, that's what my dot plot would look like for that one. It looks very similar to the histogram as well. So those are the three. And when you say which one you think best depicts the data, you want to say why. So just be sure you say, I think it is this one because whatever reason. And so last semester when I did it, people got it right when they did histogram, people got it right when they did stem and leaf, people got it right when they did a dot plot. It just depends on what your explanation is because it's an opinion question. So which one you think is best for whatever reason. But again, you just want to remember complete sentences. Spell everything right, double check. Okay, then right here it says, were you surprised by the shape of the distribution after creating the graphs? Why or why not? So that's just following up on what your prediction was. If it's the same, if it's different, why or why not? Again, with this one, 1 or 2 sentences, don't make it too long. Okay, but if I see I don't have a chance to save it for later because I have to finish this question later. So if I submit test, say yes, submit it anyway. Yep, okay, so